Ether and Bones here on CJSW 90.9 FM, alternative to what? And as promised, Crystal Eyes are in the studio. They've been here for hours getting ready. It's going to sound fantastic. They're from Calgary and they have some new material. Very exciting, but we'll talk a little bit about that after we hear a couple of songs live here in the CJSW studios. Welcome, everyone.
Hi.
Hey.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. We'll talk in a bit. Play a couple songs for us. I'm really looking forward to it.
Someone like them.
Well, you just heard two of the four songs that you're going to hear from Crystallize live here in the CJSW studio. We've got this fantastic new studio, and I've been hearing all kinds of really good things about your new recording from all kinds of people. I know Eric Vollmers of the Herald was glowing about it, and I understand why now. Not that I didn't figure it out before, but it sounds really awesome. So you have just put a new album, so we'll talk a bit about that, but talk a little bit about what you were up to before, because you've been busy. Your 2019 album, I believe, was recorded with Basha Boulat and her husband, Andrew Woods. Is that the truth?
That is the truth, but it's kind of tricky because it's actually the same record. We had a bit of a gap, kind of a pandemic gap, I guess, if you will, where we kind of delayed putting it out until it felt like a better time. So truthfully, we've been sitting on this record for a little while, but it gave us we put a lot of time into the mixing process. So that alone took like probably 6 months. And then, kind of finished mixing it a few months into the pandemic. It was like May of 2020, the record was done, but it didn't feel like the right time. It felt like the world had more important things to worry about at that point in time. So we've been kind of sitting on it, but it gave us some time to kind of plan for the release. We ended up having a record label based out of Madrid, actually, called Bobo Integral, and they actually just picked it up during that time. So like it was good that we waited. I think it was the right thing, but it was definitely been a long time coming. So I think we're all pretty excited to push it out the door for sure.
And just to be clear, this is Erin Jenkins. You are the lead singer of Crystallize speaking. And maybe I'm going kind of all over the place, but how about you introduce the rest of the band to the listening audience? You don't have to describe what they look like necessarily, but at least we can make sure that we get everyone.
Risky, yeah.
I didn't realize Jordan
great.
was in this band. I'm so excited, Jordan. I should have known better.
Yeah,
Hi.
It's a great looking band. Jordan. Well, we'll start with Jordan. Jordan Tettensor on lead guitar. All those sick licks. We got Joleen Toner on synth. Hi. We got Will Johnson on the bass, and rocking the mustache. And then we've got Paul, and beard, and Paul deAndrade on drums. And it's Paul's birthday, fun fact. So wish him happy birthday from your radio.
Maybe everyone's singing at the same time and you just don't know.
Yeah.
Because this is kind of a one-way situation.
Hands, yeah.
Okay, so go back to that. So, you're not the first group that's had some kind of pandemic delay. So the album you're putting out is the one that you recorded with Basha and Andrew.
Exactly, yeah. So we did that in Montreal at Break Glass Studios, which is such an awesome spot that we really recommend. They've got a lot of cool old instruments there, which definitely kind of made their way onto the record and kind of inspired the final sound. And we did that. It was like late July 2019, so back when things were normal, and it was great. It was, I think, really one of the funnest things I've ever done. So I know again it's confusing, but that's the record. It's out now, and so we're really excited about that, and also starting to look towards writing and recording new stuff, because it's time.
So how did you get hooked up with Basha and with Andrew, and kind of what was that process, and how were they involved in the album?
Yeah, so I met Andrew first. I became friends with Andrew when I was living in Montreal for a little while, and we just became friends. I actually saw him and I thought he was Ty Segall, because he kind of looks like Ty Segall, but it turns out it wasn't him, and that's how we became friends. Literally, that's the story. And then he ends up marrying Basha, and he's an engineer and producer and fantastic musician in his own right, and he had kind of put it out, I think, on Facebook or something, that he was open to taking on mixing projects, and so I was like, I would love to work with you, because I just love your personality, I love your aesthetic, and it just ended up being both him and Basha were around, and so Andrew was kind of the producer. He was at the mixing board. He was a lot of the like he even contributed to some of the arrangement. He contributed like a bit of instrumentation, like a ton of ideas throughout. So he was a big part of the creative process. And then Baja was kind of like a guru, like vocal coach type of person in the production. So she was just, there in the studio, kind of like giving her thoughts, being kind of, giving vocal direction, like stuff like she would just like, run into the room and be like, okay, try it again, but like pretend you're Marilyn Monroe and you're going to pop out of a birthday cake. And like that, it was just that kind of thing. Like she's just giving, just like her wisdom, her brilliance. And so it was a pretty like powerhouse duo to be working with. They're just fabulous.
Yeah, both
people.
have great energy, but Bash has just got the most, she's just so fresh and unpretentious and enthusiastic. And
I
that whole thing about jumping out a birthday cake, Marilyn Monroe, that's a good, I would have never thought of that as advice for...
Neither would I, right? And she's brilliant like that.
That's great. And I don't want this to sound name droppy because I don't think you are. I think that you're really great in your own right. But you really are collaborating with a lot of people, both locally and elsewhere. So I know that you've worked with Monty from Preoccupations and Ryan Bourne and Rebecca Reed. And then also I see that you had a split disc with Marlena Moore. So really interesting kind of collaborations. And so I don't know if you just want to talk a bit about that and how it's how these things have helped and evolved your music, and maybe you've evolved theirs at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. Everything about this band has been a collaboration, like with all the people in this room now, and a lot of people who have influenced it in so many ways. I feel really, really blessed and lucky to know so many fabulous people. And I kind of see my skill as more being like the person that can kind of bring people together and kind of find the best pieces of people and hopefully inspire and create something great together. Like none of this would be possible without the people that collaborate with me. And so I very humbly acknowledge that, and I'm glad that I can kind of be a bit of a maestro to kind of bring this brilliance together.
And do you want to just talk about, like, is this the same, is Crystallized the exact same people that are here now, or has it morphed over the years?
Yeah, I think I joked at one time that it's like, I pretty much would need like an Excel spreadsheet at this point to like track everybody's involvement, because there's been a lot of different players, but this is like the core. Like these folks here have been playing in Crystallized for like years. It varies depending on which member, but so we become, I'd say, in the last couple of years, a lot more of a really solidified lineup, and that's been really great. Before it was maybe a little bit more transient, kind of based on availability and touring schedules and who's around, and so it's been really nice to like really feel like it's a band in the last few years, and that's a great feeling. That's what I want, because like I said, I'm not a solo act. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do this alone, and so having like this team, thank you all. I appreciate you.
Very cool. We don't have a lot of time left, so I would say you should play another couple songs if you could. Yeah. This is Crystal Eyes, and also I see you've played a couple of festivals recently. I think you played big. Is there something coming up you want to let people know about?
We do have our album release on Saturday at the Palomino. It's actually a twinsies album release with Samantha Savage Smith, because we both have records coming out at the same time. So yeah, that's going to be a great night. We've got some really special guests too. T. Finney, who's a local like hip hop rapper, and as well a drag performer, Queen Valerie Hunt. So it's kind of like a little bit of a different type of lineup, but I like really exciting. I think it's gonna be a great night. We're like going all out. We're gonna decorate the Palomino. We've got big plans, so we'd love to see you. We'd love to see you there.
I think that's going to be great. I did remember that it's you and Samantha Savage Smith, who I love and we all love at CJSW. And also, it's cool to know that there's other roadside attractions and fun and characters and performers that you have there as well.
Some real characters. Yeah, it's gonna be great. So yeah.
Okay, so
Excited.
Saturday night at the Palomino, and then people can find your music, I imagine, on the Evil Spotify, and
Evil
also
Spotify, yeah.
they can probably purchase some
Bandcamp.
actual albums in Bandcamp, and they can probably purchase some actual albums on Saturday. Am I correct?
Absolutely. We have a vinyl, so you can pick that up from us at the show, or you could order it online from our labels, Bobo Integral's website, or from our Bandcamp as well. And then, yeah, of course, we'll be streaming. The album streams starting tomorrow everywhere that album streams, so worldwide.
Thank you so much for coming in. This
Yeah,
is Crystal
thank you for
Eyes
having
here
us.
on Alternative to What? CJSW 90.9 FM.
Let's build a house. It's a beginning. And if you want to, we could find out who we are. Let's start a fire. It's like a movie. So just hold me and hold me, just hold me and hold me. Thank you.
Destroyer.
Thanks, guys.
Great. Destroyer.
Ouch. Oh, the headphones.
They ain't comfy ones, are they? What a great job, everyone.
Yeah, great work.
Holy shit.